All right, we end today's show with just a ridiculous non-story, but I found it kind of funny. And with everything, even the funny things are attached to really grave and dark topics. But I want to show you a text that was published by Candace Owens between her and Charlie Kirk. Before I do that, I got to show you the context. And in all honesty, I kind of stopped keeping up with the whole Candace stuff. It kind of felt like it got a little bit redundant. Not redundant, but it was just like, all right, it doesn't feel like we're going anywhere with this. It just keeps changing and morphing, and I got lost, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. But it went somewhere pretty wild where I guess she's saying that Charlie Kirk might have been a time traveler. So let's check in on what the argument was there. And then I'll show you the text.
Did Charlie think he was a time traveler? He said, as I showed you in earlier messages, that he was a time traveler and he had to find me. Is that just something people are saying to their homies in text messages? And again, not anything that...
Okay, the conclusion is so funny. It's so funny once I tell you what the reason is.
I would have placed so much emphasis on back when he was saying it, but it came to fruition. The other parts, he did die young. Why did he think that him dying young was necessary in order to change things? He did die young. It is related to Turning Point USA. In some way or another, at the very least, we can all agree it's related to him speaking at a campus event for Turning Point USA. I'm totally occupied by this. I tell you, I read these messages and I'm going, what is this? What is reality, actually? And Charlie died. Yes, like I said, it was related to this organization. And I think we would all agree that his death and the manner that they did it changed the world in ways that I don't think we can fully realize.
So again, if you're someone who's watched, and I always give you the caveat that there's some portion of the audience that for some reason goes loco anytime I don't buy into what Candace is up to. But a lot of times those folks will say, you didn't understand she was getting to a point about this. But I don't care. I just don't care. Don't care. So what I do care about is how funny it is that she said, why did Charlie text me? I'm a time traveler. Do you just say that? And the conclusion from many people, other than her biggest supporters, is Candace, he was flirting. He was flirting. And now you're trotting this out. The poor guy, he's dead. And you're trotting out these texts of him making a move on you. It's like, don't. And I'm going to show you, but like one of her supporters said, quoting, Candace claims Charlie Kirk was a time traveler. She's insane. She's psychotic. Correction, Charlie Kirk said he was a time traveler. So then here's the text. Candace texted Charlie, I'm an alien. No word yet on if she actually believes she's one. I'm assuming she meant she feels so alienated by the world she feels like not even a person, which sometimes you can feel that way. And he said, I think I'm a time traveler. This is my home, but I think you found me and time traveled with me. That's a banger pickup line. I think I'm a time traveler, but our time traveling crossed paths because of destiny, and now we get to time travel together. That's game. That's game. And that's obviously what he was doing. Or it was a sweet comment. I don't know if he literally meant I don't think he believed you literally meant you're a literal alien. I think he thinks you're a human being from Earth. And so then somebody posted to someone, I think I'm a time traveler. This is my home, but I think you found me and time travel with me. And they said, wait, what? Is that a song? I love you. And it worked because it's a banger pickup line. It's a banger pickup line. So no, I don't think. So then now knowing that context to watch again.
Why did Charlie think he was?
By the way, as always, please click the subscribe button. If you're not yet subscribed, it makes a big difference. We do our best to bring you. Let me just give you a little pitch for subscribing. We bring you facts. We bring you fun. even in the face of fascism. 4 Fs. There we go.
The time traveler.
So click the subscribe button if you like those things.
He said, as I showed you in earlier messages, that he was a time traveler and he had to find me. Is that just something people are saying to their homies in text messages? And again, not anything that...
No, not to their homies, to their crush. To their crush. I want to... Sometimes you make me feel like I'm in an alternate universe. And we have to hold each other's hand while we break the space-time continuum. Right? I'm going to break your space-time continuum would be the response. In a normal conversation. It's flirting. It's called flirting. That's what it is. We're all adults here. That's what that text was. Matt said, this is just how people text when they're in love. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know when this was. Maybe he was married by then. I'm not trying to allege like any of that. But it could have just been that. Or it could have been like they're meant to be. I have platonic soulmates. Like friends of mine who I feel so deeply connected with. That it feels like we were meant to be in each other's lives. And so you could say something flowery and sweet about that. And I have. And I mean it not literally. Like I don't literally mean that the universe chose us to be friends. Like I get, we all started as like a fish or something, and then we like walked out of the ocean, and then we became a good monkey or something. No, chimpanzee, and then we, and I think if we were chimpanzees, we'd be like cleaning each other. I do in a different life. I think we would. And I hope you don't interpret that as me literally thinking we're literally chimpanzees. I think, and then, we evolved, and then there's just a matter of probability, and then we ended up in each other's lives, and then we like each other because probably we were raised in a similar area, and we knew each other for a really long time, and we helped to craft each other, and so we kind of feel like that makes us more cohesive because it does, and that's just, and probably if all of the sequence of events of evolution and then of probability and then of me ultimately, if that all led to me being born somewhere else, I probably never would have found my way to these two guys, And that's why, like, I believe in soulmates.
We're doing coal.
Yeah, maybe. Sure, David. Good job. No, maybe. Oh, I believe in a soulmate. Meaning, I want to be so in love with someone that they are the only soul for me. They're mating. Our souls are mating. But I don't literally believe that there's like I don't think I believe there's like a cosmic predestined relationship. Because what about all those people who are sad? What about all the people who are sad their whole life? They don't get a soulmate? Well, they didn't find it. Well, why not? Why did I find mine? But so I believe it's just a matter of, you end up, there's a certain number of people who would be compatible enough with you that you could fall in love enough to then love enough to choose them to be your soulmate. And then they are your soulmate. Even if statistically, like, you don't only have one person you could be happily married with. But also you shouldn't be like then using that to justify cheating, okay? So did you know technically I'm compatible with more people than just you? That's not what I mean, right? But so if I expressed that, I don't literally mean we are each other's only chance at love. But I mean it still when I say it. And I think that's really what he was going for. And I feel bad that now he's having that aired out. And I do find it really funny that now like the conspiracy theorists are going at each other. So Alex Jones is like, Candace is crazy. And you're like, is this? I think someone else should do the debunking other than Alex Jones. That feels like not exactly his area of expertise given all the conspiracy theories he believes in, but let's see.
It's Thursday evening.
Like what, Alex Jones has a soulmate?
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
It just might be in a different dating pool than you're thinking.
The 15th of January, 2026. And I come to you very, very sad about this. I've known Candace Owens for 10 years. She's done a lot of great work. She's been a beautiful person. And a month ago in December, I said, listen, I think she's being set up by operatives. I think she's being
So there it is, right? He comes out and you're like, wait, is Alex about to just say that she's basing theories not on enough factual evidence? And you're like, this will be interesting to see. And he goes, I warned her she's being set up by operatives.
So it was the deep state 100%.
Even your attempt at debunking her conspiracy theory is creating your own conspiracy. That's like what we saw with Tim Pool, who argued that Candace Owens was probably or could be a Democratic Party op. So she was embedded by the Democratic Party in the right wing to tear apart the right wing from within. And it's like, wait, you just called her out for conspiracy theories, conspiracy theorizing, and then you made a conspiracy theory to explain why she's conspiracy theorying. Why can't it just be that she's conspiracy theorizing? And then she didn't see Charlie's advances. Those could just be real events. Or maybe he was a time traveler and she's an alien and I don't know a freaking thing. And maybe, I told someone this, they're like, well, what would you do if by some insane series of events, Candace's theory about all the different government entities and Turning Point and Erica and everyone being in on the murder, then I don't know anything about the world, so I'm just like, bye. I'll just be like, well, I shouldn't be speaking on things if I misunderstand the world enough to not believe what ended up being true, which is like Charlie was being controlled and monitored. Maybe I'm not keeping up so much anymore, but like by the CIA to then create Turning Point, to then kill him. But he was maybe time traveling, but then maybe was using ancient technology to see the future, or they were, or something. Like if I don't know, if I'm so out of what's true that I missed all of that, and there really is a deep state that's that powerful that controls everything that much and coordinated the military and Turning Point and the Trump administration and foreign governments all for this murder and random media figures, like then I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna get baked. I'm not a weed guy, right? But
You're
if that
Willie Nelson high.
If that were all true, I'm just getting baked all for the rest of my life. I don't want to do this if all that's true. Then what power do any of us have if all of the governments in the world coordinate to kill people, then are covering up and they get the wife involved and they get the everything? Every law enforcement person involved and high up generals, and then they can see the future and I'm out, baby. I'm gonna start like selling nude photos and call it a day. That's what I'm gonna do. If all that's true, because I'm not gonna be a good commentator in that world, because I didn't know that was happening. I missed it. And every single event was an inside job, and it was all coordinated, and somehow all that evidence was covered up by this deep state. Then take me over, deep state. Put me in. They wanna put a chip in your brain, control, and make you see whatever. If that's all really happening, the brain chip thing's real. But I mean, like a broader scheme to control us it's like maybe the real threat is that Trump is just openly not in some crazy conspiracy being an authoritarian and actually violating people's rights. Maybe that's the bigger concern. Hey, what about that? Hey, what about the stuff we can see? I'm a little more concerned with what we can't see. It does sound kind of fun to just like, I don't know, retire and just be like, you know what? Who knows? Let me time travel with you. Maybe he was just on psychedelics. You know what I mean? Maybe he sent the text and he was baked. I don't know. Maybe he was high of his brains and he felt like he was time traveling. Whew. All right. Sorry, Alex. Focus.
I said, listen, I think she's being set up by operatives. I think she's being lied to by Mitch Snow and others. I said, I think she's having a mental breakdown. People said, how dare you That's the old Soviet Union. You want to put her in a padded room. You want to put her in a straitjacket. I didn't say that. I said we've looked at her Egyptian plane thing. We've looked at Mitch Snow, and it's a fraud. And all of that's come out to be accurate now. You know, Mitch Snow says his dad was a Zodiac killer. The people all have alibis for Fort Huachuca. But now she comes out yesterday.
Maybe his dad was a Zodiac killer. Now I'm kind of rooting for these things to be true so I can just call it quits, you know? I'll just work at a restaurant, live in a nice little abode. It'll be a tight space, I get it. And I'll just be a cocaine addict. I don't know. Who knows? I'll just completely send my life off the rails if Zodiac killer, if all this is true. Truly. I give up if all this is true. It's not, by the way. It's not. I think Tyler Robinson killed him. I do. I really do.
And says with a straight face, not satire, that Charlie Kirk is a time traveler in a secret government project, that she's always known she's an alien. And
I don't know if I don't want to disparage her unjustly. Maybe she's being metaphorical. I don't know. But she did repost that person being like, oh, you say it's crazy that he's a time traveler? Boom, here's him saying it. She reposted that. So it seems like she's been taking it seriously. I don't know. I don't know. This is so dumb. What are we talking about? We have like real problems we're addressing, and still we're over here doing fairy tale land and like inner clashing. Well, y'all keep clashing. That's good for y'all. But I'm just I'm a little bored with this. I'm a little bored. And then Alex is like, she thinks that this was all a part of some big deep state plot. Loser. That's like all of your theories, dude. All of them are deep state plot. So pick a lane, Alex. I'm actually surprised he didn't go all in with her, because normally he'd be like, whoa. But you can never predict what goes on in MAGA world, can you?